before we go live?
Nah.
Nope. We're live.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome. Sorry for the little bit of kind of stunted delay. I had to wait for everybody to get in here. There's a little bit to talk about. It's not like a huge story day as far as much is going on. I would say that there's a couple of things that just popped up that Iron Wolf brought up that we'll be talking about throughout. We got Iron Wolf here, Mooch, and Titanfall Princess. They're different people. So yeah, here they are at the same time. It's
Amazing.
it's not a conspiracy.
No.
Mooch Mooch is in a mood.
Today's one of the dark days of Twitter, people. It's the days where people have nothing to talk about but just bother other people. So
oh yeah, Twitter, dude. I got a feeling that there's about to be more videos about me here in the coming days.
Yeah.
There's gonna be videos about me in the coming days because people don't realize that there was an exchange between me and some friends in Cliffy B that was just basically just all jokes, and I can already imagine the hate and the screenshots that are going to be caught between that, and it's going to be funny. But anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about this Xbox Live situation. Here's the deal, right? PlayStation Network can literally be down all day or 3 days, and hardly anybody will even talk about it. Nobody talks about it. It's a common thing, right? It's like water's wet, the sky is blue, PSN is down, right? For whatever reason. Xbox Live, which is actually up, you can game. The only problem is like the party's not working. I guess there's some social aspects. It's a little bit, it does suck that it's limited right now, but it's not like it's completely down or that it's been down all day or anything like that. And literally people are freaking out. And to top it off, you got like these sites running with this Snoop Dogg thing. I don't know if you saw it, but I guess he posted to Instagram that he was pissed off about that he was going to switch to PS4 if they didn't fix their quote-unquote shit. You know what I mean? I don't know if you guys saw that, but it's like, I mean, really, that, and people were running with that as news. Like, all these sites were like, Snoop Dogg tells Bill Gates to fix your shit. You know what I mean? And I was like, I just shook my head. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, what are you going to do? I mean, what's up with that, guys? Come on.
It's just it all correlates with what I'm saying. There's nothing going on. So Xbox has a small blip in the radar. I'm on the page right now. It says just limited, and so everything else, core Xbox Live core services, purchasing content, website, TV, music, and video, all acting normal. Green checks. Limited is social aspects. So, I mean, yeah, if you're trying to communicate with your friend, I got news for you. PSN, when it's fully functional, you still can't hear your friend on the fucking other end of it. So, listen, it just amazes me, man. This is just another day of who gives a shit and pin the tail on the donkey. There's nothing going on, and everyone's just kind of up in everyone's face. So, like, the Snoop Dogg thing, he probably was just, he's just chilling. He just made a comment or posted a picture. And this is this is the bullshit that we talk about on the show all the time, is the media will take anything against Snoop Dogg makes a comment, that's Kotaku's front page, but then PSN actually goes down, we'll talk about it tomorrow, folks. You know what I mean? Like, it's unbelievable the bullshit that goes on, and this is just more stacked on top.
Yeah, I don't understand it. It is a bit of a bummer when Xbox Live doesn't work.
Absolutely.
Or correctly.
I do remember at one point Tyrese Gibson. I'm sure you guys know him. His PlayStation 4 stopped working, and he said to fix your shit too. And I didn't see no front page headline on any website about that. He posted it on his official Facebook page, and there you go. The bias is real, man. Yeah. And one other thing, like, how many times is Xbox Live down? 2-3 times a year? How often is PSN down? Every single fucking week. Yeah. Now I'm just gonna sit here and speculate. It's possible that an update is on the way because Mike Ybarra did tweet out that we're gonna get that feature where we could see who's in the party and who's not. So that could be on the way, and that could be one of the reasons.
It could be because 360 Xbox Live is up and working. Only Xbox One Live isn't. Right. So and they are kind of messing with things and getting things ready. We're probably going to start getting the new backwards compatible list, right?
And this is one thing. Xbox Live in its current state right now works better than PSN, and that's a fucking fact.
Well, everybody knows it. That's why it's big news when Xbox Live isn't working. See, I'd be concerned if Xbox Live was down and people were just like, well, that's typical or whatever. It's not typical. That's why people make a big deal out of it, and that should tell you something. When PSN is down, aside from the media bias and people not really like talking about it, they'll wait until PSN is down for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours before they talk about it. If it's just down for a couple hours, nobody says anything. It's absolutely ridiculous. And Xbox Live down for an hour, all the sites are running with the story. It's oh wow. Apparently, when I tweeted out that we were doing a live stream, it came out in Japanese. That's nice. Yeah, I can. Who knew, right? I mean, I'm bridging the gap, folks. I love I love the Japanese. Let's sit down and have some sushi. But yeah, so it's an interesting thing. I don't understand how it's such a big deal. I don't really think that it's a big deal, but I think that it does suck if you're on Xbox Live and you can't game, then that takes away from your fun, and that does suck. No matter what you are, PSN, Xbox Live, Nintendo, whoever the case may be, I think that it sucks. But this stuff happens. Anytime you have an online network, I think that that kind of happens. Just deal with it, I guess. It's not like Xbox Live is down all the time. Iron Wolf came in and told me, and I had just saw this before we went live, that Capcom Vancouver, who did like Dead Rising 3, apparently they're hiring for 2 new projects using Unreal Engine 4. Most likely going to do Dead Rising 4. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
Well, it's clear as day that they're going to be working on Dead Rising 4. Like, with the success of Dead Rising 3, it's not really a surprise to me. And, especially with the sales and everything. And I could just see another Xbox One exclusive inbound. You know what I'm saying? And, Dead Rising is always known as an Xbox game. 2 was a little lackluster, I guess, because it was on the PS3. It kind of scaled back the potential of this game. But with 3, it took it to a whole new level. And the 4th one, I could see, obviously, maybe DirectX 12, cloud computing, along with the Unreal Engine 4, could, really take this game to a whole different level, man. What do you guys think, man?
Well, I'm going to agree with you there, Wolf. This is something that, like, I personally, this is me, I thought Dead Rising 3 had tremendous potential. Like, I thought it was a great game, the way that it was set up, the way that they had all the zombies on there. I'm a huge zombie nut, so if a game has zombies in it, I'm definitely going to try it. And I did. I played it. I probably got about a little past halfway in it. And then I stopped because what I didn't like about it was I didn't like the crafting in it. I didn't like how the fact that there was just parts all over the ground, like there was like snow, workmen. What do they call it? The parking cones were everywhere, and just like stupid little things were all over the place. I didn't care for that, but I think that you have to understand it was a launch title, so I cut them some slack because they did an outstanding job to get that kind of a game out for launch day. But what I'm really looking for, Wolf, is I'm looking to make sure that this game stays exclusive with Microsoft. This is a couple of those things that Microsoft has to flex their muscles. They've got to keep the Dead Rising series with them. We don't need to rehash it. Everybody knows I feel that they should keep Titanfall 2. They need to go out and spend money where it counts, and where it counts is where people remember titles. People always put Dead Rising with Xbox. If this is something that Phil's going to let go and go multi-plat or we hear something like that, to me it's a disappointment. It needs to stay with his quote-unquote portfolio because that's how people associate it with. When you brand a title, you brand a game, I think you need to keep up with that. So I read that article too, and I got pretty excited, and then I calmed myself down. I said, well, let's just wait a little while till we figure out if, Microsoft's going to lock this one down like they did with 3. And heck, you can go to PC.
They did quote, incredible new gameplay experiences. So, I'm sure that the cloud and possibly the Havoc engine have a big part to play.
I hope so, Wolf. I agree, and I'm very hopeful of that. I think that maybe they can take the same crafting system was fine. Just don't leave all the items all over the ground. It looked. I'll give you an example. One of the critiques from one of the people I respect, one of the only people I got left to respect in the business, Adam Sessler, when he critiqued Knack, his biggest critique for the PS4, he goes, and now I'm going to mention something that nobody else is talking about. He goes, why is it when I kill an enemy in Knack, it doesn't stay on screen, it would just fade away? And that's something that used to happen a lot in like the NES 8-bit, 16-bit games, because the screen couldn't handle, holding on to that image. It would just dissipate it and it would just dissolve. And he goes, for the PS4 being as powerful as it's supposed to be, he goes, this is very elementary, and this is a launch title. You're supposed to show, you flex your muscles a little bit. And I thought that Microsoft, I thought that with that game there, I thought that the game was done very well graphically, but I thought Dead Rising 3, where I thought things were rushed, were just, you guys, I don't know, I mean, tell me if you think I'm crazy, but do you remember what I mean? Like, all the materials to craft, I mean, the ones that you really needed for the big weapons were hidden, but like all the regular stuff, like the cones and the this and the cans and the blah, 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 and the sticks and the wood, I mean, it was just all over the ground, and it was just like, and it was multiplied by way too many. There was like 850 parking cones in one parking lot. It was just like, all right, I get it. I can use the parking cone to make a horn or hit them with it. But like, I just think that what I hope they use the new tech for Wolf is to make the crafting system a little bit better.
Yeah, I hope they really push the envelope. And the last one was 2-player co-op. Maybe this one could be 4-player co-op. And then it could add more new modes, maybe some sort of multiplayer aspect to the game.
Yes.
That'll be huge.
I gotta say, like, as far as the launch titles, that one might have been one of my favorite.
Yeah.
And I beat it, right? Like, here's the thing. I like Dead Rising 1. That was, I don't know if that was a launch title on 360, but it was pretty early on. That was one of the early ones that I loved that showed off what you could do because there were all the zombies. Same thing with Dead Rising 3. Dead Rising 2 really suffered, but Dead Rising 3 I really liked, and I'll tell you why I liked it better than the other two was because they took out the time limit crap. You know what I mean? Right. Like in the other ones, you had all that time limit stuff, and I absolutely hate being on a time constraint in video games. It bugs the hell out of me.
You do remember the first one, Crap? Like it had like the Dawn of the Dead kind of feel. That's why.
Yeah, you were awesome. In the mall. It had a Dreamcast feel to me, to be honest with you. Like it wasn't the best looking game, but it had so many zombies and stuff. But one thing that I loved about Dead Rising 3 was it looked great. And it had 1,000 zombies on the screen at the same time, and it had a zombie generator where no two zombies looked alike. I'll tell you right now, I'm playing through Assassin's Creed Syndicate, right? Mm-hmm. And surprise hit. I mean, this game is damn good. Like, I'm surprised, like, how good this damn game is. It's really good. But one of the things that bugs me is the enemies look the same. Like, it's always this bald guy. It's either this big bald guy or these other guys that all look the same. And it's like, here's a big AAA title. It's not like it's a launch game or anything. You know what I mean? Why does this game have that problem? Put masks on people or do something at this point. So that's one of those things that kind of bugs me with things. And it's like when you see Dead Rising 3, which was a launch game, not have any kind of issues like that with the repeating enemies. Why does this game have problems? You know what I mean? So I think that Dead Rising 3 did a lot right, but I'm like Mooch. This game needs to stay exclusive. Look, Capcom went exclusive with Street Fighter V, right? They don't have a ton of money. Microsoft can probably lock it down pretty cheaply. This isn't EA where they're not known to do some exclusive deals here and there. This is Capcom. They were almost ready to shut their doors a couple years ago, remember?
Yeah, and this is the thing. Like, I don't think Capcom Vancouver, they're going to really make a new IP. I really doubt that because that's a very high-risk move, especially nowadays. So I can see this being Dead Rising 4. They've only been known for doing Dead Rising 4 anyway. So what do you guys think?
Yeah, you know what? I think Dead Rising 4, would be my best bet, and then I don't really care what the other thing is. If they want to try something new, hey, I'm totally cool with that. But I do want to see Dead Rising 4. I think that it would be perfect to come out sometime next year on Xbox One, PC too. I don't really give a fuck. Look, the fanboy stuff, the list wars, whatever. Kind of segue into my next topic is Microsoft is actually, or Sony is actually using console exclusives on their boxes now, right? So, again, they're kind of placating towards what their fan base wants. They're driving the console wars.
They drive the console
wars. They drive it. They love the console wars. They strive and live on the console wars. Yeah. So now, right, as long as it says console exclusive, it's fine, right? And look, I've said this all along. Going back to the original Xbox, most of those games that were on the original Xbox were on PC as well. Same thing with the 360. That happened all the time. It's not really a big deal. Especially since it's not PC as like a wide platform, it's Windows 10. It's like, look, if I buy, and I talked about this yesterday with you, Mooch, and Zaire, if I buy Resogun on PS3, I have that buy on Vita and PS4. That's how I got it. You know what I mean? Microsoft is planning to do that with their first-party stuff. Some of it anyway. You know, like you buy Recore possibly on Xbox One, you have it on Windows 10 as well. Or same thing with Killer Instinct. If you download the Games with Gold version right now and you're an Xbox Live member, you get that for free on PC. You know, it's cross-buy. Like, it's their thing. You know, it's their ecosystem. Right. It's not like it's supporting something else. You know, it's supporting them. It's supporting the game. You know, rather, you know, it's for fanboy bullshit. But, you know, maybe Microsoft could do something like that too, like, you know, console exclusive or whatever. I always thought, like, you know, PC is not a console anyway. You know what I mean? So I always thought that was kind of ludicrous to really care about this, because look, and this will end it once and for all, because I've never heard somebody come back from the point I'm about to make. 99% of games are multi-platform. 98% of those are on PC, and they're going to play better on PC if you have that capable PC. Yet, console owners will play those 99% of games on their preferred console, right? Yeah. Why do they do that? It's because they're console gamers. Yeah. Now, that makes complete fucking sense, right? So, of course. So what's the point of, quote-unquote, owning an Xbox One if the exclusives go to PC? Well, if you're a console gamer, you're going to want to play it on a console. That's the point. Yeah. Brilliant? Am I fucking brilliant, guys? Come on.
The only thing that's wrong with that is that the exclusives, sometimes I don't think should go on PCs, because they don't have to pay for Xbox Live. We're supporting them, but yet they get the experience that we do, and that I don't think is fair.
Hey, way to double dutch in there. No, I agree, 100%. I think that the Xbox Live thing isn't fair. I think that they think by giving us the backwards compatible games, 4 free games a month, but I'll tell you this much: if they ever said Xbox Live that to play multiplayer is free, I would drop paying Xbox Live in a heartbeat. I would, you know, because even though the games have gotten better, I buy the games that I want to play. You know what I mean? So it's not, they've never really given me anything like, oh shit, you know, sometimes it's an added thing, but you know, for the most part, I
thought about myself, Nancy. Look, at the end of the day, those PC weirdos, they're not getting 4 free games per month. They're not getting 360 games or the Xbox One titles. So
yeah, but they pirate a lot of shit too. So they pirate a lot of shit as well as getting it for free. So how are they really paying for anything? They're getting all the exclusives. They get everything for nothing.
No. The pirate bit, I agree, but we were just talking about Xbox Live for a second. So Xbox Live, I understand. You know, at the end of the day, they're not getting Xbox One games or 360 games. They're only getting party chat and multiplayer. That's all they're getting. But yeah, with the pirate bit, I totally agree. And I think Microsoft have something in place for that to maybe protect their games. Who knows?
Yeah, did you read pirates were saying that it was so hard to pirate Just Cause 3 on PC that they say there's not going to be any pirating at all within 2 years. So, I mean, maybe that's going to be a thing of the past. Yeah, I don't have a problem with, like, I know everybody thinks that I have a problem with, like, the PCs. Like, to me, it's irrelevant. Like,
well, isn't the Windows 10 games DRM?
Yeah, there's a form of DRM on there.
So if there's DRM on there, there's no chance in hell it's going to be pirated. No way.
But you know, and like nobody's gonna get into that. But anyway, as long as Microsoft does this, I think Phil dances with me on this one, right? I'm dancing with Phil. But anyway, I think he dances with me on this. You got to keep Halo, the new Gears, the Forzas. Those got to be exclusive because those are what people buy Xbox for. Let's just be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're going to see third parties.
Hey, Crap, what are you doing dancing with Phil?
Man, Phil's my man, dude. Phil's my man, dude.
Oh, so now we know what you are, right?
Oh, you know what? Exposed, right? I mean, how many videos will we see? I mean, somebody's gonna get that audio clean, right? But anyway, you know, I think that look at the third-party games, right? You're not going to see. It doesn't make sense for third-party developers to make a console exclusive thing because neither Sony nor Microsoft looks at PC games as a competition, right? That's why you're seeing stuff like, what is it? Is Bloodborne official coming to PC?
I've heard it.
I've heard something like
according to the MSI, you know, the MSI, the motherboard company, you know, they've been advertising Bloodborne on the box or some shit like that. So I think it's clear as day that it's coming to PC. But do I care? I don't give a shit.
Yeah, even if it doesn't, look, like Street Fighter V is going to PC, that Hellblade game PC, No Man's Sky PC, Shenmue 3 PC, you know, because it makes sense. Rise, PC, Dead Rising 3 PC, Titanfall PC. Look, this is something that's going to happen. Why is it going to happen? Because it makes sense. You hedge your bets a little bit. You make up a little bit of that lost revenue by not being on the other platform.
The ones that they need to keep on Xbox is obviously, like you said, the Forza games, Gears 4, Halo 5, Sunset Overdrive, Quantum Break.
I'm very adamant about that. Yes,
and Scalebound too, because that's a system seller right there.
I hope it is. I know you get a lot of crap by saying it's the best. I don't know. Somebody told me that you said it was the best JRPG ever, or something like that. I don't know. Maybe that's a misquote, but
no, I don't care. I'll say it. If I see something, and if that's how I feel, I'm gonna say it.
Hey, it looks damn good, man. I mean, I was devastated when they delayed that out. Look, most people expected damage control from me. I was the one out there going, "Hey, this sucks. Stop announcing games so early. If you're not going to be able to put them out there, you got to be professional. That's their job. I mean, look, when I'm cleaning up dog shit, right? If I miss a piece and someone steps in some shit, I mean, I'm not doing my job, right, folks? That's kind of a joke because people think I pick up dog shit for a living, but yeah.
Well, speaking of critiquing, there's something I really wanted to critique. Now, I don't know if you guys saw over the weekend on Sunday, there was the Gears of War Pro ESL Finals, right?
I caught some of those, yeah.
Yeah, and everybody was expecting, some Gears of War 4 news, maybe some multiplayer beta footage, and we didn't get anything. I think it was just one little exclusive slide on how they make the maps, but they didn't really show anything. And I just personally think it's a missed opportunity right there, because it would have been the perfect way to start, the marketing campaign for this game, because they haven't really shown anything. Like with Halo at this stage, they were going all out with it, with the Hunt the Truth and everything like that. And they need one, based on the story of Marcus Phoenix after Gears 3, what was he doing between Gears 3
Is he even part of it? I mean, we've heard rumors that Lester Spigot is coming back as Coltrane because he kind of confirmed that on Twitter. And I've heard rumors that John DiMaggio has done some Marcus Phoenix voiceover work for it. But are they the main parts of it? Is it other people? I mean, when we saw at E3...
No, but even if they're not in the game, this little Hunt the Truth thing that it could do for Gears...
I agree with you. Wolf's saying basically, where's the hype train starting up? Here we are. We're going into February.
Where's the marketing and stuff?
Yeah, where's the you should, especially now. There's rumors that have been. We talked about it a couple days ago, and now there's more and more stronger rumors. It went from holiday to fall, so we went from November to definitely September, October, and they moved the game up. So here we are. We got to look ahead, guys. You can't just talk about tonight. We're already into February. Okay, the minute you cross the February threshold in marketing, you're into March. So we're already going into February here. Where's the push? And we shouldn't see anything huge, but we should see a slogan. A slogan or two with a couple of great posters,
a teaser.
And I mean, I don't understand how Microsoft, this big juggernaut company, doesn't have one of the best PR. Actually, they should be applauded. They're one of the largest, if not the largest company in the world to not have good public relations.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, everybody has good PR. I mean, Apple, like the minute that somebody said that the antenna gate was an issue, Steve Jobs, he didn't just hire new people, he invented new people. And they came out of nowhere, okay? And they came in and they took care of the problem. Not only did they take care of the problem in the phone, but they took care of the problem in the media immediately. Yeah. Microsoft has a problem, and you know who takes care of it? Mooch, Crap, Wolf, Titanfall.
Yeah, and we're not even getting paid.
Right. And it's like, why are we the ones that have to keep doing all that? And all we're called are the guys wearing the tinfoil hats because there's just so many ponies. You know what I mean? It's almost like Dead Rising 3, right? It's the 5 or 6 of us versus 1,000 literally dead weight, no brain zombies walking around with PS4 controllers in their hand. I mean, they're just isn't it? It's just a horde of idiots. I mean, we're just. Now listen, I got a PS4. I got it for $77 brand new. They were taking.
You paid $76 too much.
It was. I turned it on twice since September. Twice. And it's literally just a shit box. It just sits there. It doesn't do anything. There's no games.
I know you haven't turned it on because you haven't even accepted my friend's request yet, man.
I turned mine on today.
I haven't turned it on.
I turned mine on today, and guess what? It's like update needed, right? So I get the update, and I look up what it does. The update does nothing.
Oh, I don't even turn it on for the update.
Nothing.
The update doesn't do anything.
The update did nothing. That's cool. I mean, thanks, Sony.
Yo, shout out to Jay Williams. He just said that I played and beat Dead Rising 3 times. That's how much he likes the game.
Yeah, it is a damn good game. You know what? They did a really good arcades add-on to that, the Super Hyper.
The Street Fighter edition. That was fire, man.
Yeah, that was fun. You know what I mean? That was really cool. Remember, they did that was a surprise at E3. They were like, hey, that's really cool.
Super Ultra EX Alpha Edition Dead Rising 3.
I really dug that. I thought that game was really fun up until the last mission. That was a bitch, man. It took me forever. I was like, oh, I guess I won't finish it. Exposed! Crap Gamer didn't finish the game, but I did end up beating that, and it was fun. I always want. What? I didn't do any co-op on that. Me and Mooch were supposed to, and I guess I didn't.
I know. We actually were supposed to go through that crap.
Yeah.
I mean, I like I said, I got a little over halfway through it, and a little bit of the corniness mixed with some of the way that they had the crafting. It just didn't resonate with me 100%. But I thought the game was flawless on mechanics. I thought it was gorgeous. I mean, the game was beautiful. It was done very well. And with all the zombies they had on screen, if there was any kind of delay or a little bit of a screen tear here or there, it was so minute. It was done very well for a launch title.
I can't believe there was so much emphasis on the resolution on that game when it looked so gorgeous, in my opinion. It was people were trying to hate it. And it actually did really very, very well for the Xbox One. It was that was one of the few times we got official numbers from the company. Capcom came out and said it was 1.27 or 1.37 million within the first few months or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think that and it helped get them back in business because they were really doing poor. And it was Microsoft who went to them and said, "Hey, what do you got?" Because there was not going to be a Dead Rising 3 if it wasn't for Microsoft. So I mean, I think that was really cool, and Phil, he was cool about it. Oh, okay, I mean, it went to PC a little bit later, but by that time, who really cares? It's like this whole Rise of the Tomb Raider thing. Who's really going to care come November about it on PS4? You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be apparently a full $60. So. Yeah, I mean, who cares at that point? I don't think that anybody's going to really give two shits about it. But just going to the marketing side thing, and people think that we're biased because we prefer Xbox, and we do prefer Xbox. I think for many reasons. But I will say one of the parts they've lacked a little bit is who they pick to market their games with. If you're going to do third-party marketing, or even their first-party marketing's lacking a little bit, right? Like Halo had a big campaign. That was cool. I liked what they did. But you're right, man. Gears got moved up. When's the Gears? Why didn't they announce the Gears beta at this event? Isn't it supposed to be this spring?
That would have been nice.
Give us some. It would have made more sense.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Mooch said, they're one of the most richest companies in the world. In fact, they have more money than God.
Yeah.
And they're not doing nothing with it. What's up, man?
I don't know. This whole talk that we have on BGS Team, we talked about it on Xbox Nation, about Phil having some sort of budget. I don't quite understand this. Xbox is no longer just a toy, okay? It's a means of getting Windows 10 into everybody's living room. And that's something that Bill Gates said was one of his dreams way back in the day, was how do I get this into everybody's living room? Well, it's called Xbox, and it's a great system, and it's a household name because people who don't like Xbox know what it is, and people who don't have any gaming system, they know what Xbox is. So why Satya Nadella would put any kind of handcuff on Phil, numerically or monetarily?
Why would he condition him? I don't think he would.
I don't think so either. But everyone that we talk to in the know says that Phil's under some sort of budget restraints, and it's because if he didn't, it's not that he would just go out and start buying everything. But he would lock down. I would think he would want to lock down things like Titanfall 2. I would think that he would make sure that Dead Rising 4 is an Xbox exclusive. I think he would make sure a few other things. I mean, you sit there and listen. I don't ever pretend to be an executive, but if I'm an executive and I do have a budget, and somebody comes up to me and says, "Hey, listen, the new Star Wars is coming out in 2.5 years. We can either partner with Disney and do Star Wars, or we can partner with Bethesda and do Fallout." I don't know if I'd even keep the guy who brought that to my attention hired. I think I'd fire him. I'd be like, well, you should have brought me the paperwork to sign with, Star Wars. I mean, are you out of your fucking mind? Star Wars is selling, billions. It's been selling since 1978. Fuck Fallout. You know what I mean? Like, honest to God, like, who gives a shit about Fallout? Like, nobody. You know, I mean, no one's even talking about Fallout anymore. But yet, I got to be honest with you, the lackluster content lacking Battlefront is still in the news. It's still because it's such a beautiful game that people are posting it everywhere every day. Fallout looks like when people post Fallout 4 pictures, I actually have to click on it and open it and look at it and look for the description to see it's not Fallout 3. Like, it doesn't look any different. It's just, you know, I'm not calling it a shit game, but it's really just not what Microsoft thought. You're better off putting your eggs in the basket with Star Wars, even if Battlefront flopped. Even if it flopped, it was Star Wars. You know, I went to the mall with my kids today. I bought 2 fucking Pez dispensers. You know how many Pez dispensers I have? Of fucking Darth Vader and Kylo Ren? I got like 1,000 of them. You know, but they want anything with Star Wars on it. Anything.
It's very popular.
There's definitely a missed opportunity there.
It is. So when it comes down to it this upcoming year, if Microsoft has the opportunity to go with a third-party, deal again, I know a lot of people heard that the rumor was that Mass Effect may be going to Sony.
Yeah,
okay?
In case you guys didn't hear that rumor from a couple sources or whatever, rumor mill, Mass Effect marketing is going to be with Sony this time around.
That's the rumor.
As opposed to Microsoft.
But you know what, though? I'm okay with that. I'm okay. I'm a huge Mass Effect fan. Huge. Love the game. Love it, love it, love it. But it doesn't... I don't think the public knows what Mass Effect is. Okay? And gamers do, but gamers already have consoles.
Yeah.
They're trying to sell to people who don't have a console. So how do you get them? Star Wars or a big name or
Call of Duty, Destiny, stuff like that. Yeah.
You know, I mean, there's another rumor just came out today. I have the link here, crap. I'll send to you. That Rockstar was flirting and saying that possibly this November is going to be Red Dead Redemption 2. Now I know you're not a fan, crap, but it is a big game, and it's a big game because of one thing. Not because of John Marston and because of Red Dead Redemption 1, because it's Rockstar. People buy that name.
Yeah.
They know it doesn't let them down. So Microsoft, I know you're not listening. Partner with them and make that your holiday multi-plat. Okay? There's another rumor that Microsoft, because Call of Duty is with Sony, I think, crap, you had heard this, that possibly Battlefield 5 will be with Xbox. Fine. Whatever.
Yeah.
But you know what? Take Battlefield, shove it up someone else's ass, and go sign Titanfall 2.
Yeah.
Fuck Battlefield.
Hey, and just going over it real quick. Look, it's like Sony has these big name things. They had Batman, and they have them at good times, right? Everybody was talking about that. That Batman bundle looked great.
Yeah, it did.
I did a video. There was no trolling in that. I said, hey, that bundle looks nice. You know what I mean? That was a really good bundle. They did the White Destiny bundle. That one looked good.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Really good. That Star Wars one, hey, they slapped that sticker on there, sold it to a bunch of suckers.
25 cents.
Yeah, not even that, but guess what? They also have the Star Wars Disney Infinity one bundle. They did really good job. And then look at this year, right? And it pains me to say, but look at the games that Microsoft has locked up for third-party stuff, right? It's like Homefront 2, guys.
Right.
Where's the fucking cricket sounds? Because
I know.
Hey guys, Homefront 2. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about Homefront. Nobody's like clamoring for Homefront 2, a game that the first one was okay, but you could literally beat the campaign in 2 hours, and the multiplayer was just trying to be a Call of Duty ripoff, right? This game is so bad that it switched developers. Crytek sold it off midway through development. I mean, I'm sure that ought to be good, right? But hey, Microsoft is back in that game, so woo fucking who. And then we have, what the hell else? Battlefield, right? Dark Souls 3. That's just what I know everybody on Xbox loves, right? Because that game's done so well on Xbox platforms, right? Oh, wait, no, it hasn't done jack shit on Xbox platforms. So it's basically a waste of it. If they paid 1 penny to get marketing rights to that game, it's a fucking ripoff because nobody I know plays that game. You know what I mean? Like, why even bother at that point? That game is going to sell better on PlayStation because that's where the people are that try to play that type of game.
Yeah, think about it. Dark Souls is a game where you unplug your headset, you close all your curtains, you order takeout food for a week, You tell your parents you got fucking lost in fucking Canada somewhere, and everybody just leaves you alone, and you play the game until your fucking thumb bleed, or until the PS4 analog stick crumbles.
Well,
One or the
which will
other.
probably be first.
Right. You know. So I mean, you're right, Crap. That was a waste of money. Any kind of currency at all that was put into that is a complete and utter waste.
Yep.
You know, I mean, between Dark Souls 3 and Homefront 2. There's no. They should have put more money into Microsoft toilet paper. That was just a waste of fucking money.
Just
And
like, what was that game that came out that you say was a dumpster fire?
Oh, Just Cause 3.
Just Cause 3. That was another terrible marketing deal.
Dumpster
Because
fire.
who cares about that game? It's Just Cause.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? That's not a big deal. Like,
you turn the game on, you blow up 15 things, you get into a car, you blow something up, you shut the game off, and then you look at the mirror and you're like, what the fuck did I just do for 2 hours? And then you do that for about 3 more times so you're tired of talking to yourself. And you can't wait to return the thing. You wish you bought a physical disc of it so you can get $15 back at GameStop. I mean, the game is, look, I know a lot of people will tweet me all the time. They're like, no, Mooch, you don't get it. It's a lot of fun. Dude, a lot of things are a lot of fun. I'm not going to spend $60 in 100 hours fucking walking around blowing shit up with no purpose. Like, give me something to do. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's because I work fucking so much. I work a lot, you know, and it's like, when I come home, I like to spend quality time with 2 things. You know, my family, and if it comes to gaming, I'd like to hang out with my friends and something that's actually interesting. And that didn't have anything. There's no multiplayer in that was really worth it, and there's nothing interesting going on. So again, you're right, Crap. Sorry to interrupt, but that Just Cause 3 was a dumpster.
Yeah, they've done this multiple times. Like, same thing with Witcher 3. That game did really well because it came out at a time when nothing else was out. But Microsoft, that was a debacle. You're paying to market these games, and they screw you over by giving you PC footage, and Microsoft got the blame for that, right? I mean, you had a developer down talk DX12 and all that shit, but guess what? That game played better on Xbox One. It played better. It had all kinds of problems on PS4, but because they did such a bad job of screwing over Microsoft, the company did, that, you know, it sold better on PS4. Obviously, there's a gap with the sales and stuff that probably contributed to it, but, you know, when you got the developer who you're paying to market your game, so you get that Xbox logo and stuff, when they're bad-mouthing you.
Yeah, that guy, what's his name? Bacon, the developer.
Yeah,
he used to work for Sony.
He used to work for Sony. Yeah, I mean, you know, he's a Sony guy or whatever. And then again, the Division. This maybe end up working to be out okay thing. I'll say this: the the game is kind of boring in my opinion. But maybe this game might turn things around. Because, look, Mooch, you really liked Rainbow Six Siege.
Yes.
Right? That was another marketing thing that Microsoft got, but it really went under the radar. And because you want to know why it went under the radar, because Ubisoft is getting a lot of shit lately for rushing out their games, not delivering on what they've shown at E3 and things like that, whether it's warranted or not. I mean, it looks like Assassin's Creed's taking a break this year. You know, Rainbow Six Siege.
Listen,
You love it.
I want to talk about something, though, Crap, and if you're going in this direction, cut me off. I just want to make sure that everyone understands. What the media did in 2014 for Destiny and what they did for Sony was they made that game purposely look like, a lot of people that I talked to early, remember this was early on in the generation, a lot of people were like, well, I'm going to get Destiny for PlayStation because, you know, Xbox isn't getting it. And I was like, all right, first of all, you can't read and you're 30-something. That's all right. Well,
yeah.
Besides that, no, we're getting it, but it was the media's fault. The media kept spinning it like, you know, you got to play it on PlayStation. And you had every douchebag at IGN. If you don't believe me, just go back. It's all recorded. It's all on film. Every douchebag at IGN was like, no, I'm getting it for PlayStation. Got to play it on PlayStation. Even Destin Legary, that piece of shit. He's on Podcast Unlocked. He's on an Xbox program, and the whole half of the show he's talking about how easy it was to put his parallelogram of a PlayStation 4 into his backpack and then ride. I hate California people.
and you know what, Mooch?
We don't do that shit in anywhere else in the world. They take our fucking console in a backpack. Who the fuck does that? And they're like, he's like, and I played it in the office, and I take it out, and I bring it home, and I played it. And now here's the thing. Now, Crap, let me say this because I understand where you're coming from. And this is why I think alpha and betas are not a good thing for business. I think they leave a bad taste in people's mouths. Crap played pre-alpha, didn't care for it, it wasn't ready. And you know what? That's his opinion, and he's entitled to it. I've been watching so many people that on YouTube that they're nobodies that we talk about in this world, but they have huge YouTube channels and they worry about open world games. And I watched this one guy that really dives into. He did a big thing on Destiny when it first came out. Now he's kind of maxed out on that. Now he's really getting into the Division.
Yeah.
And what kind of hit me last night was when all the new Division footage came out. I said, why isn't there more? Like, I mean, the game comes out on March 8th. Why isn't there a ton of stuff being like, you want to play the Division, you want first access at the Dead Zone, whatever they're calling it, the Dark Zone or the Dead Zone, the Dark Zone, you got to play it on Xbox One first. That's what they were doing with Destiny. You want special missions, you want a cloak and dagger, you need to play on PlayStation. You know what I mean? Like,
you want this gay card that you read, and you got to go to the Bungie site and find out what the story is. You got to get it on PlayStation.
Only on PlayStation, and you need your decoder chopstick. No, the thing is that you have to have everything with PlayStation being lined up by the media. This is a major game. This is a huge game coming out. They actually said this is going to make Destiny look dwarfed. They're going to dwarf them. They're going to absolutely destroy Destiny as far as content and updating and map ability. And it's got something that we can all kind of come a little bit more to terms with because it's real life. Go ahead, Wolf. I'm sorry. I'm holding you.
No, I was going to say, shout out to Tim Dog and Southbound. I played that game, the alpha with those two, and I had a blast. And I know for a fact, Mooch, that you're going to love this game because it's close to home. It's close to home, man.
It is. It's New York.
It's going to be an awesome game.
Well, and, I hope so. Look, I'm hoping that it shows off what the Xbox can do because Xbox is lead platform on that.
Right.
Yeah, and they need to promote they're getting the early content first, so they really need to push this game. I don't know what Microsoft are doing. They need to push this game as much as possible.
Are they getting content early?
Yeah, they are.
Could be, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, DLC first on Xbox.
All right. Because usually they don't do that. Remember, one thing that bugged me was even when Microsoft had marketing deals. Remember, Sony used to get exclusive Batman missions, exclusive Assassin's Creed missions, and Microsoft never got any of that stuff with any of them. I mean, they would get Call of Duty maps a month early, which whoop-de-doo. I bought one Call of Duty map the whole time they had early.
That's where that 50 million went every year, man.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it went. I bought the Call of the Dead one. Back on Black Ops 1. That tells you. You know what I'm saying? So literally, that meant nothing to me. It's frustrating when they're picking the wrong games. I'm sure they thought maybe Evolve would be the next big thing, right? And then it turned out not to be. It was it's misstep after misstep after misstep after misstep.
Well, if the rumor turns out to be true that we're getting Left 4 Dead 3, Microsoft should lock this down. If they can lock it down, do a marketing deal with this game because it's known as an Xbox One or as an Xbox game. Because 360 had 1 and 2. Yes, I know it was on PC, but console gamers played it on console. Like you said.
You said something here. Something's resonating in my head as we're talking. I lost a lot of respect for developers as a whole when the Evolve crew. I watched about a half an hour behind the scenes on Evolve, and they all went around the room, and it was a great little 30-minute documentary on Evolve, and they were like, these are the creators of what was Left 4 Dead. And the whole time, Evolve had just been, being talked about, so the idea was just breached. I didn't even know what it was at the time, and I'm watching it, and while I'm watching it, the whole time I'm saying to myself, why the fuck didn't you make Left 4 Dead 3? I'm sitting there and they're like, well, we didn't want to do this, and we didn't want to do. Let me tell everybody that happens to be a developer or somebody that's good at a talent. You guys all know a favorite comedian or a favorite actor or actress that you had that they did a certain role for so long, and then they're like, I don't want to be stereotyped as that character, so I'm going to try something different, and then their career flops. Sometimes you're just good at being funny. Sometimes you're just good at being an action hero. Sometimes an action hero isn't funny. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And when you're a developer and you strike gold, okay, and this even goes back to my buddy Cliffy B. When you strike gold, it does. No, it does. I mean, it doesn't matter if we're talking about, and this isn't a jab. It's sound advice. When you make something that's outstanding, and he did, hats off to him, outstanding, big fan. I'm a huge fan of Gears, and I'm a big fan of Left 4 Dead. and you make something that people just wait in line for. They want you to sign their arm and their chest if it's a girl. You want to do all this crazy shit. And then the minute you get to your peak and someone's like, hey, do you want to make another Gears or do you want to make another Left 4 Dead? No. I want to make another mystical magic ride. What the fuck is... Shut the fuck up. Like, go make the game that made you rich. Make the game that makes you somebody. Make the game that we want to play. Stop being this creative sack of shit that nobody wants to be around.
It's not even about that. They get lazy. They're just getting fucking lazy. They get rich off of a game or two, and they just sit back and play with the money they got and make shit-ass games that don't cost them nothing so they can keep their riches. That's all they do.
And you might have a point there, Titanfall. I'll be honest with you. There's definitely something to that. Myself, personally, it's this artistic bullshit. And listen, this is the thing. Coming from my background and what I do, I can't even draw a stick figure of people, okay? Yeah. So I'm not artistic at all. So it's hard for me to understand that. But one thing I do understand is business and what you do for work. And the reason we all get up and go to the same job is because we're good at what we do. So we do our job every day. You know, it's the reason I'm not going to be like, you know what, I'm going to stop working where I work tomorrow. I'm going to open up an ice cream cone stand because that's how I can express myself. You know, like, it's ridiculous to say these types of things. And when you have these guys, Left 4 Dead, make Left 4 Dead 3. Make another $1 zillion. We're happy. You're happy. Instead, you make Evolve, which the game failed crap, in my personal opinion, because the game was dependent on another person's ability to play the game well. It didn't matter how good you were. You know, like, take Destiny. Wolf, you're playing Destiny 2 now. Like, if you play Destiny and you got a guy, there's always, when you go in a fire team of 3 and do a different part of the map, or you're playing a different part of the story, or a daily mission or heroic, if there's somebody that's a little bit lower, you're like, listen, just come with us, we'll carry you. Because if somebody's not good, we can still help you get through it. And that's how it should be in a game, right? When someone's down, you help them out. Well, in Evolve, when 1 or 2 people suck, the monster just eats you, you're dead. You know, because you have to, you know what I mean? So you either have to work together or you die. And it's
I bought the game 2 weeks after launch, and I could tell you right now, Mooch, the servers were dead. Nobody played that game online.
No. It was dead on delivery, to be honest with you. You know, it was dead on arrival. It just didn't have a chance. It didn't have a fighting chance. When you saw that you were dependent on somebody, it's okay if a game happens to be multiplayer only, or online all the time. That's fine. We're all coping with this generation. But you've got to have content to where I can still be myself. Like I said, when I play Destiny, whether I'm playing with somebody who's really advanced than me or a little bit lower than me, I'm still myself. I'm still able to get through a lot of it on my own, even through the fights, the missions. So I don't know. Like, that's my whole thing with that. You know, enough with being artistic developers. All right, how about this? Go make what you're good at. You know, do you want a pizza guy to make you tacos? No. All right, you know what I mean? Like, go to a fucking place that makes what their specialty is and make it. You know, I don't want to go to a Chinese restaurant and get fucking, tacos. I just don't want it. I don't give a shit if it's on the menu. So these guys making Evolve, it's a rambling session here, but you just stick to what you're good at.
Here's the problem with Evolve, as far as I could see it, which was it was basically Left 4 Dead, where somebody got to be the tank, but they just amped up the ante a bit. You know what I mean? And like, playing on a team by yourself just isn't that fun. I'm just being honest. If you look at what's going on with Fable Legends right now, they were fine. I guess they probably found that out, that whole one person's the villain and setting the stuff up just isn't that fun. What are they putting in now? They're putting in, different content, more single player type content, like actual RPG elements. Evolve is the same way. Like, when you're the enemy, the monster, it's just not that fun. It's actually pretty easy. Like, most matches are over in like a few minutes. Right. Like, it sounded like a good premise, but just didn't work out in the end. I think that it was just kind of a failed experiment. And when you look at what Microsoft is advertising, look, Sony's going to have Call of Duty again, and they'll advertise that. They're going to have Destiny 2, and they'll advertise that. They're going to have Mass Effect, and they'll advertise that. Those are 3 pretty big games.
Speaking of advertising, Microsoft needs to get Xbox. They need to be on the TV more. Now, one opportunity, and they'll probably miss it, will be the goddamn Super Bowl, where one of the biggest times for people pay a lot of money to do those commercials. That'd be the biggest time for them to launch something spectacular.
Gears of War 4. That'll be the game.
Anything, but they need to start putting some more things up. I mean, I even see it on if anybody watches wrestling, you got fucking Sony up there as a sponsor, putting a little ad, a small ad during certain times.
Yeah.
Going across the screen. It's
Yeah.
so, I mean, they put their little, put them at big events, talk to stadiums where they have concerts and football games and wrestling
Well,
events
you know
and all
that- you
that.
know
Or NBA or stuff like that.
Paintball
All the
Princess is
NBA,
right.
put banners up all over the place in stadiums nationwide.
Xbox has a team with the Seattle team in soccer. Like, and Wolf, trust me, my whole family's from Italy. I understand, all right? Listen, I understand Europe is like, but you gotta
I
understand
don't
something.
care about soccer.
Well, listen, nobody in the United States cares about soccer.
That's
So
what I'm
when-
saying.
So whenever
Yeah, I get
Aaron or
that.
these guys are like, they're showing their jerseys and they're like, we're off to see the Seattle Super Who Gives a Shits. Like, nobody cares.
You know what I would say?
Hey,
Seattle who?
that's the new team, the Seattle Who Gives a Shits. I like it.
Seattle Who Gives a Shit. Super Who Gives a Shit. Like nobody can. And like Aaron will always snap a picture. And he's like, here we are, 30 minutes into the game, and the stadium's empty, and there's Xbox logo in the middle. How about this? Take that, add the difference, and put your Xbox logo on the Seattle fucking Seahawks. Put them on the NFL team. Then at least every Sunday, 7 billion people are watching it, not 4,000 people.
You know what? Microsoft is the official console of NFL.
No,
How are they not taking better advantage of that,
But
in my opinion?
that's
All
my
they
point
advertise is
exactly.
Madden. All they advertise is Madden in their Surface.
And it's the green box, right?
Yeah.
Have a banner during all the St. Patty's Day parades.
I mean, they could. Look, they used to have ads all the time. Maybe we'll see a different Microsoft emerge after the 28th or whatever it is when they get their quarterlies or whatever. I think that they really were playing it safe to get a positive result for investors and things like that and the new CEO.
They wanted to get this shit out. Well, last year they wanted to get it out the way. So
Yeah, they got to have big results. They released Halo. They had a great winter, a great Christmas holiday season. All their games, all their biggest games won over 1 million units sold. So all this Minecraft is selling like crazy. They bought the Havoc engine. They got a lot of stuff going for them. This should result in positive numbers for them, and then they might be able to go out and do a little bit better with the marketing.
That was the plan A, and it proved to be a success. Now we're going to move on to the plan B, and that's where you see it, full circle.
What do you think? What do you think that will be?
Well, they're going to make some heavyweight moves. I could see them buy something big. I think AMD. What we saw with Havoc, that could be a precursor for AMD, and AMD could be the next big move that could, they can make. And if once they get their foot into that, they'll probably own all the gaming. Especially the fact that the NX, they're going to be using, AMD GPUs and stuff. And if there is a PS5, they could be using AMD GPUs or whatever. I know they're not going to go to NVIDIA because we all know what happened with the OG Xbox. So I just can't see that happening. So AMD could be the big move. But then I heard rumors, I don't know where it was from, that the next Star Wars game that's been written by Amy Hennig, I think Microsoft are going to lock down the deal with that game.
Oh God, I hope they do. I hope they do. They need to get something Star Wars. Look, what's bigger than I underestimated it. I'm a Star Wars fan. I'll admit it. I underestimated the power of that. I was like, okay, there's going to be a bad taste in people's mouths. But then what they did was, not to get this on a whole Star Wars rant, they brought the nostalgia back to the original Star Wars fan from 1977. Basically retold that same story, and people bit. People bit big time. People like Warrior Ward, shout out to that dude, saw that movie probably like 6 or 7 times by now. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So they did a good job. And look, you can market Star Wars on, and it's literally on everything. Like me. Like
It could have been an arrangement between Microsoft, Sony, and EA that they take Battlefront and Microsoft could take this new single player Star Wars game.
Yeah. Well, I would assume that, from what I've heard, Titanfall 2 is going to be multi-plat, but I would still assume that Microsoft had marketing rights to that. They had better, at least have marketing rights to that. I mean, come on. But it seems to me like they kind of dropped the ball with their advertising of their games, the advertising of Xbox One in general, and their market, who they pick the market with, because they're not doing a very good job with that. I just think that Star Wars, come on, guys, how do you not realize that's going to be huge? Get something
That'll
going.
be huge. Remember last gen, the 360 R2D2 console that we had? That's
Yeah.
all like crazy.
Yeah.
You go on eBay, look for that shit. Yeah, you're looking, I think, $200-300 for that. If you want to buy one of those.
Yeah, it's a really, I really wanted one. I thought it was amazing. I used to do a podcast with Worry Ward and Kinsey Burke, who Kinsey Burke does stuff with like Metal Jesus and stuff. So she's like moved on to bigger and better things. But she had one of those, you know what I mean? And like that was remember, like the Xbox 360 had so many variants, it was hard to keep up with. They had that one, they had a red, they had the Halo one. Remember the Halo Reach one? That one looked fantastic. They were really sleek. The Xbox One really needs to kind of redesign what they're doing. It needs to look more modern. I was just looking at it today because I was wiping down that dust collector. The black consoles that are shiny get really dusty. You know what I mean? And I was thinking, well, I'm not a fan of the PS4 design, but it looks much more sleek and game-like than the Xbox One. And I've always kind of said that. They could slim that down, put some cool shit on it, slap a Darth Vader sticker on that. You know what I mean? Watch the idiots buy it just because it has a sticker. It's like, to me, that's not a big deal, but I do see people liking, like, how many people I saw like that Fallout 4 console design?
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they like that stuff. They collectors. Even if you have one, like Tim, right?
I saw that on eBay go for $4,000 and it was on bid.
Yeah, look, like Tim Dog, he's like, well, if they come out with a Gears 4 Slim, I'm gonna buy that. That dude already has like 1,800 Xbox Ones. You know what I mean? Like, you have to remember that there's certain collectors, like Worry Ward. Again, shout out to him. He couldn't find the Elite controller. So what's what Mr. Rich Man do? He goes out and buys an Elite console that comes with the Elite controller. You know what I mean? People buy more than one console. Like people buy variant colors. I know people that have the black console, but they wanted the white one too. They wanted a little interracial thing going on. So,
woohoo!
Oh my God! Somehow I knew she was gonna chime in. But anyway, yeah. So look, you get the Gear stuff and that white or the Sunset Overdrive one going. You know what I'm saying? And people like that stuff, and I can understand it. You got to get that stuff out there. You got to do a better job. You got to be a little bit more on the ball. Just in my opinion, it's not even about winning a console war. It's just giving people what they want. Look how much better the 360 did when they came out in 2010 with that slimmer version. And then like the ones with the sounds and stuff, and they tried to do that with the Forza one and stuff, and those are cool, and the Halo one, but those just aren't super sleek. Like when they redesign this thing, it needs to stand on its side. It needs to be sleek and sexy, and you know what I'm saying. It needs to be badass.
If Microsoft do get a marketing deal with EA and Visual Games,
just like me.
No, I'm just saying for the next Star Wars game, if they do get the marketing
just
deal,
like me, I'm saying.
Okay. Well, yeah, if they do get the marketing deal for that shit, they need a slim Xbox with that Star Wars sticker on it. It will sell like crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree. I think that they got to do a better job at that. I'm not sure, like I said, is it a money thing? I'm not 100% sure, but just real quick, I also wanted to cover EA Access now is on PC with Origin Access. I mean, what are your guys' thoughts on this? I had someone kind of tweet me like it was gonna sting or something. You know what I mean? Like, oh, hey, crap, man, it's it's on PC now too. What do you think about that?
That news affected me less than when what do you call it there? McDonald's said they were giving breakfast all day. To be honest with you, I mean, how does that even affect anybody who's enjoying that service on their Xbox?
Yeah, I have no idea. You know what? I think it's a great service.
Yeah.
And like I said, I think I said this at the beginning. I'm a fan of the service. If it had been on PS4 as well, and by the way, PlayStation 4 fans and owners should be bitching that it's not on there, and it's Sony's fault 100%. but you don't see them ever bringing that up.
Does this mean that if there's an EA game that drops, and do we still get the 5 days early access, or would that
Yeah. Look, we're
PC
getting
too?
what's the hell's that little weird
Unraveled.
game Unraveled. Yeah, we're getting that on it. Oh, guess what's coming out? Plants vs Zombies 2, which I'll say is an underrated game. It looks fantastic. We're getting to play, I think, the beta. If you're an EA Access member, you get to play the beta here, I think, in a day or two.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a mix of Titanfall and Plants vs Zombies. Like, you get calling your Titan and shit. I mean, it's badass. It looks really fun. It was like the first one was such an underrated game.
Yeah, it was. I think you're right, Crap, on that one. The second one I think is going to be great. And I'm a beta tester, so this is going to be great to even do.
Yeah, so I think it'll be fun, and EA Access is, and I think Sony should have it. I think PS4 owners should have it. Look, I would probably have it on PS4 because a lot of the games that are on there are easy achievements or trophies. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you do that? You know what I'm saying? I could pay if it was on PS4 as well. That's $60 a year, and I have access on both consoles to play all those games.
That service is better than PS Now, so they should.
Well, PS Now is a fucking joke. You know what I mean? And speaking of jokes, this whole Let's Play thing, right? I waited days to see if anybody else would do it. Boogies, the Angry Joes, IGN. Nobody's really talking about it. So finally, I was like, fuck it. Okay, props to Red Dragon because he talked about it. You know what I'm saying? That guy did it. He was on the ball. I waited. I was going to do it the first day, and I thought, no, people will just be like, oh, what are you doing? You're just hating on Sony, blah, blah, blah. I wanted to find out more of the facts. And so, you look into some of the articles and stuff. Guess what? This isn't over. Sony has 6 months to appeal this. They weren't denied for the reasons you guys might think. They can sit there and do a little bit differently, word it a little bit differently, and end up owning the term "Let's Play."
But that was only denied in the U.S. though, so I don't know about the rest of the world.
Which means to anybody that ever content creates on YouTube, Sony would totally have the right to get your income off that if you monetize or copyright claim you, right? Wow. So all the millions of Let's Plays on YouTube or wherever else would be owned by Sony, and they could take them down, copyright you, flag you.
And that's bullshit.
It is, and the fact that I have
way for Sony to make money and to fuck with Xbox people.
Yes, they want a monopoly on it, and look, Sony. It's long known that Sony has financial problems, and I've said this before. Look, as much as I hate to say this, consoles are dying out. They're not going to be around forever. Sony as a company is making money only on one thing: the PlayStation console. Once consoles are irrelevant, what's left for them as a company? Nothing. They have a very bleak future. They have no future. That's just the fucking
They're really not making money on the console purchases, though. They're really not making money on the console.
Well, it's not just that, though, but they are making money on PlayStation as a whole.
Well, yeah, people paying them, and then, I wouldn't doubt, and I'm not being funny, and people get mad at me for saying this, I wouldn't doubt it if they have somebody that is the one tapping into everybody's accounts and keeping the money to support themselves.
Well, I mean, you never know. But look, I'm just saying that company as a whole is failing. They're not doing great. They're not going to be. How are they going to sustain themselves 10 years from now when consoles aren't a thing, or 15 years from now, whatever that might be? It'll eventually happen. So Microsoft, on the other hand, is a company that's going to live long. They've got so much going on because they adapt to the future. They got the cloud stuff. They got their Windows operating system. They got all the stuff that makes them money hand over, Windows Office. They're the ones that do all this stuff. They're the future thinkers. Sony, they live in the past. Yes, that's partially why the PS4 is so successful right now, because it's a more traditional console. They didn't go out and try to change the world with it. They're just like, okay, PS 3.5, slightly better graphics. There you go. You know what I mean? Microsoft was like, hey, let's try something new, and y'all shit on it, right? Because who wants games where if you're a collector like me, you could put your disc in, and then you didn't need it anymore? But heaven forbid if you had to have it test your ping once a day for 2 seconds while you slept or whatever, right? Even though we're all connected all the damn time anyway, right? Heaven forbid that, where you could have shared your game with up to 10 people on a list, or possibly sold your digital games back or traded them or what have you, right? That's breaking ground. right? But we don't want that, right? Of course not.
No.
Of course not.
No.
See, I just wanted to say one thing, and this is just my opinion. I don't think console gaming will die anytime soon. It's going to be around for a very long time. And to those PC guys that are bragging about, 125 Steam accounts, hey, the thing is that most of those accounts they were made since 2003. So that's a pretty bad number for a service that began in 2003, 125 million. Whoop-de-doo, big deal. And you have to bear in mind that most of those accounts, you have one guy on one PC making 10 Steam accounts each. Most of them are troll accounts. So in all reality, it's probably at 60 million. 60 million PCs that are active.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I'm looking at it right now. So I don't think consoles gaming is dying anytime soon.
No.
People always go out and buy consoles for their exclusives and for the majority of the multiplats. Like multiplats sell better on PS4, Xbox One, and any Nintendo console. You know what I mean? Even developers always said it. We make our games primarily for consoles. The consoles are the premier platform, and PC is treated like a DVD player.
Well, it is. I mean, just look. Batman: Arkham Knight was made by Rocksteady on consoles and was made by Joe Blow, Bob's freaking builders on PC, right? And it had problems. They wait. Like, look at Grand Theft Auto 5. I was playing that in 2013 on 360, and when did they play it on PC? It was like 2 years later. I don't really like to wait around. When there's games that I want to play it. That's why I have all the consoles, so that I don't have to wait.
Besides that crap, who wants to play on a little screen? People got, 50, 55, 60-inch screen TVs that they want to watch the action on. Who wants to look at this little thing and sit on top of it?
I brought that up before too, and they're like, "Well, you can play your PC on your screen or whatever." But it's like,
and one thing I know you're a physical collector. You're a collector. You like buying physical copies of every game. But the thing is, crap. I don't know if you know. I'm probably sure you do know that. GameStop have been closed down in Puerto Rico. So
yeah, I heard about that.
And that's just the beginning, and that's what happened with what's that video store again? Blockbuster or something like that.
Yeah, they closed down a while ago.
But that started off in Puerto Rico, and then it, widespread it everywhere else. So it shut down, overnight. So same thing could happen here.
Well, you know what? I don't really use GameStop anymore. I use the Microsoft Store. They do, and the reason why I use them is because they'll hook you up with like a Xbox Live credit or whatever.
Yeah, this is right up your alley. Did you see Amazon Prime now? If you sign up with Amazon Prime, you get anybody that pre-orders Xbox One or PlayStation 4 games. I believe they get 20% off the game.
Yeah, I saw
Wow.
that. That is a good deal. Like, if you guys didn't know, like, Amazon Prime also has enables you to do like a Netflix type service on there as well. They got some good shows. That's where I watched The Sopranos. I never saw that when it was actually on, but I watched it when it was on there, and it was pretty damn good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's really cool.
Well,
I wanted to
Prime's also good for. Not to give them a plug.
You get free shipping.
It's free 2-day shipping. You can order anything from toilet paper to furniture. And the point of the matter I'm trying to say is that to get that 20%. Now my only question was there a way to get a code? Can you get a digital code, or does it have to be a physical copy? I think it's physical copy.
Yeah, I think it is.
And the benefit with that is that sometimes they probably ship it to you 2-3 days earlier than the retail release. So that's a good thing in itself.
It's feasible.
Yeah. Did you guys hear about this article that came up, and it's called "The Last of Us Wasn't a Great Game"?
No shit.
Did you guys see? I tweeted this out this morning, right? Like, who knew? I saw this article, and I was like, huh, that takes guts. Someone actually said what I said a couple years ago, and he's probably going to get hate for it. Look, and his probably thought was, I guess he probably went back to the game recently to play it, and he's thinking the same thing I thought. This has got a cinematic storytelling thing. It's got some decent characters and things like that, but the gameplay is clunky and repetitive. The shooting is horrible. You know what I mean? The actual gameplay elements are bad, and I agreed. He didn't say it was a bad game. He just said it wasn't this great 10 out of 10 masterpiece. So I tweeted this out, and of course, I've got a few thousand followers on Twitter. People were going there, but apparently this brought a lot of hate to the guy too, or whatever, and there's been a lot of bad comments and stuff or whatever. So he just tweeted me. He's like, "Hey man, thanks for tweeting that out." He's like, "I'm getting a lot of hate and stuff." This is the problem. This guy, right? And this is a smaller site. He goes against the grain, says his opinion, and what happens? He gets utterly attacked, threats, hate, all these comments, and he said he had to delete all these personal attacks, all this stuff. Why? Because he went against what the Sony faithful want. This is why people hate these Sony PS4 extremists. This is the people that I have a problem with. Why are you guys so... Look, people said Halo 5's not great. You know, that's fine. It got an 85 Metacritic. I'm okay with that. I don't care. I'm not going to go hate on somebody that gave it a 7 out of 10. It's not really my place. You know what I mean? But yet, here we are, years later, and you guys are so, like, in love with having this thing that you look at being perfect, that if somebody says that it wasn't, you attack them, and you get personal with it, and you don't stop.
Because
you just
people
keep
aren't
going.
allowed to have their own opinions anymore.
But this is why you
That's
don't
the
see
problem.
this stuff. This is why you don't see more of this, right? The guy that gave The Last of Us originally when it came out a 7 or 7.5 doesn't work there anymore. Because he went against the grain and didn't give the game a better score, right? So this game isn't perfect, because when you look at a game that's perfect, it has to have everything perfect, and that's so fucking rare. I don't think I've ever seen it. Maybe Zelda Ocarina of Time, you know what I mean? Like, as far as games go, but there's been very few and far between, and The Last of Us, sure as shit, wasn't a perfect game. You know, it was very cliche story, very clunky movements, throw a bottle, throw a fucking rock, throw this other bottle, throw this other rock. You know what I mean? It wasn't that fun. And Mooch, I know you like the game because you played the multiplayer and stuff, but you'd probably jump on board and say that it wasn't perfect.
No, it definitely was not perfect. But my complaint with that is across Sony's entire platform. I don't care if it's Uncharted or it's The Last of Us or it's what is it there? Oh God, that one that Worry likes there, the infamous Second Son. The mechanics are always sloppy in all their games. Kill zones, they're terrible. I don't know how to explain it to you. It's something you have to feel when you play the game. Their games are not responsive 100%. I just have a better experience on Xbox. The developers, the way the system works, the way they program for it. I don't know what it is. I'm not a developer. But when you play games on the PlayStation, they just feel... I feel like when you move the character forward, they put their head down, and it's almost like a bull charge. And then when you go to stop, they don't stop on it. They kind of keep running. It's a very sloppy system. As far as the Last of Us goes... here's the thing. I thought PS3 was so bad that The Last of Us and Uncharted were the only thing that really kept me going back to turning that thing on, unless I was watching a Blu-ray movie. And so personally, I ended up liking it. I did like the multiplayer in The Last of Us. I played it for quite some time. I liked it because for some reason it had the slow pace like Gears, but I liked the what you would have called the clunky and throwing stuff. It worked because it was a slower-paced multiplayer. So I'm not going to sit here and give it its defense, but I enjoyed it for what it was, and it was the only thing I enjoyed on Sony's PS3. So I think that played a role too, Crap.
See, this is me with the game, right? I found the game real slow. I didn't really encounter anything, or I didn't get to shoot anything until an hour or two into the game. And even when you did, like, you have to wait another 20-25 minutes before you encounter the clickers or whatever you want to call them, these little zombie mutated, whatever you want to call them. It was real slow. And the story itself, it was okay, it was decent, and I don't think it was a 10. I'll give it an 8 at the most.
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm fine with that. I don't care about that, but I got the...
Yeah, that I get, but I don't think that it was... Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily... A 10 is... No, not a 10.
Nah, hell no. The AI was so stupid in that game, too.
Yeah.
But it's like you can't even do this...
Gears got shit for their AI, and they didn't say anything to The Last of Us.
And you can't even talk about this years later. It's, like, ridiculous in my opinion. It's like, wow, when have we got to this point where you can't even talk about, just because everybody likes something doesn't mean you have to. That's conformist. You know what I mean? Look, stand out. If you have an opinion, I'm all for standing out. Not to purposely be different, but if you actually have a difference of opinion, then I'm all for that. And I think that maybe that's somehow how my channel got started or where it is today, because like when people were all freaking out about shit at the reveals and the E3s, I did a video about how I wanted an Xbox One because the games, man. I'm like, Jesus, Killer Instinct. I'm fucking sold. I haven't played that in 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, guess what? Dead Rising 3. That looks sick. Rise, that looked amazing. Forza Motorsport 5, I love Forza. You know what I mean? Titanfall looked fucking amazing. That's why I bought an Xbox One. It was games. It didn't come down to policies or what ifs or anything like that. It came down to the games. The games. It always comes down to the games. You know, don't make me do the Steve Ballmer. Developers, games. Microsoft has always had the games with the Xbox One at the forefront. You know, look at the E3. Even the reveal, even though that wasn't all about games, the E3 was 100% games. 2013, 2014, all about games. 2015, all about games. They're the only ones doing that. Sony doesn't, and they get a free pass. You know what I mean? You can't say anything negative about Sony, or otherwise their fans flip out and start, threatening to burn your house down and shit. You know, it's absolutely, utterly ridiculous.
No, all the E3s have been electrifying, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of the Sony E3s have just been pretty boring. You know what I mean?
You know what? If it wasn't for that, if it wasn't for for the for their E3s being electrifying, Mooch wouldn't even be part of Big Gamer Small Talk. Nobody else was dancing with me, dude. Warrior Ward, Next Gen, Showstopper. They were all like, man, that E3, man, I don't know. That really left the door open for Sony, man. They really needed to kill it, and they didn't do that. And I was like, well, did you guys just watch the same E3 I did? Because, damn, that was on fire, right?
Yeah, that shit was fire.
So I asked Mooch, man, on Twitter, I was like, hey, dude, want to go in there and do a podcast real quick? And that's how it started. That dude was just like on point and, well-spoken, and it was just like, fire, you know what I'm saying? There was Robin Quivers. I was like, that's my Robin Quivers right there. You know what I mean? I was like, I got to get this guy in on these podcasts, So yeah, like.
Oh yeah, speaking of Sony, man, I don't know if you guys know. I think we talked about it already that DC Universe Online is a game that the Sony fans could cross off the list. That's coming to Xbox.
Yeah, well, eventually all those games will come to Xbox. Like I said, that just makes sense. You know what? I played that game on PlayStation 3 and PlayStation 4. It's pretty fun, free-to-play MMO game. Like, there's not a lot of... Yeah, there's not a lot of... Well, no, it's an MMORPG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a MOBA. MOBA is like Smite, which is actually pretty good on Xbox One, in my opinion. But this is a full-on MMORPG, which there's only, I think, one other one on Xbox, which is Elder Scrolls Online. It's a full-on experience. I mean, you create your own DC character or whatever and play, and it can be very fun, very time-consuming, though. I'm excited to be able to play it on my platform of choice because when I played it on PlayStation, there's not really anybody that I have to play with because I don't have any
Probably
PlayStation
had a horrible
friends.
connection too, man.
Yeah, it could get pretty bad, you know what I mean? But one more thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap up. It's actually, we ended up covering a lot more stuff than what I originally thought. I think NPDs are out tomorrow.
Ooh.
Oh, really?
What do you guys? Yeah, I mean, they come out Thursdays, right? I believe tomorrow we're going to get the NPDs. I'm going to go ahead and say Sony 1 December. Probably be pretty close. I would say to be within 100,000.
I want to say Microsoft 1 because Greenberg did say big December.
Yeah, that's true.
Not just that, but with them coming out saying that they sold that much in the software categories, and think about it, crap. I don't know how they're counting. They weren't even counting bundles. So I mean, I do think that they may have done very well with their bundles come for Christmas. A lot of people put a lot of emphasis on Christmas only being Black Friday. That's not the case. I mean, I don't understand how we got to that point. I mean,
you have 24 days of shopping.
Yeah. 24 shopping days in December, which are more than the few in the end of November. So the bundles were probably a little bit more appealing. I think Microsoft did a good job of really advertising and pushing it the last 2 weeks in December too. It is very close. There's no way to just sit here. I will be optimistic, and I will say Microsoft probably won it, but it's not going to surprise me. It's whoever did win it didn't win it by much.
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and just say Sony probably won.
Yeah.
How about you, Nancy?
I'm really not sure. Possibly Sony. I don't know. I'm hoping that Microsoft did win. I heard a lot of good. Them talking a lot of good shit about their numbers. For the end of the year. I'm hoping they won, but once again, if they did, it's going to be a close call. I'm not sure.
Oh, so she's undecided.
Okay.
Yeah, I think probably Sony won, but Hey, if Microsoft won, man, I'm gonna paint my belly with the Microsoft logo and do a little dance. Maybe I'll upload that to YouTube. I think it'll be funny.
You're stupid. You're stupid.
I'm gonna be like one of them fans at them football games, man. I'm gonna start like painting
I'm gonna
my
put on my
body and like
pom-poms and stuff, everywhere.
start painting my body and Xbox logos and stuff. You know what I mean? Come on, I need to get paid for that stuff, Aaron. Aaron Greenberg, I know you're watching, bro. Pay me.
Are you going to paint your body with the Xbox logo and dance with Phil?
Oh, dude. Oh, hell yeah, I would. Come on, man. Who wouldn't, man? Phil's a stud, man. Who wouldn't, man? I bet that guy. Yeah, I'm not gay. But anyway, man, I appreciate you guys and girls coming out. You know, it's always fun. Hopefully, you guys, hopefully Xbox Live is kind of straightened out. You know, hopefully you guys enjoyed the podcast. Make sure you guys like, subscribe, and all that stuff. The link in the description for my Twitter, for the Facebook page, all that stuff is going to be there. The Redbubble site, so you can buy some BGST stuff, you know. And I always say this, man, say you're a bit of a nerd or a loser. You're a Sony fan and people hate you because you're a Sony fan because they suck balls. Buy some BGST stuff. Look like a Billy Badass for a change. Go around there sporting a Crap Gamer shirt that's pissing on a PS4. You'll look like a badass from that point on. I think they're about $20 or something. Well worth it.
Hey, Crap, before you end the show, I do want to say one thing. I don't usually do any kind of shout-outs, but there is a guy who follows us. He's a good friend of mine in gaming, too. His name is Noof Nukem on Xbox Live.
He messaged me all the time.
He's a good guy, and he's also a radio broadcaster out in, I want to say, the Toronto area. And he always shouts us out. He's always giving BGST shout-outs on the radio, and he's got, that's hitting a lot of people out there. And he's also promoting Xbox Nation. So shout out to Noof Nukem. Man's a great gamer, a good fan.
Yeah, shout out to him. I've been playing some Gears with him too.
Yeah, hey, you know what? I got a shout out.
I just want to do one shout out too.
Let me shout out. Let me shout out first, okay? I got a shout out to my Mexican Gravedigger. That's my Mexican right there. That's my boy. What up, Gravedigger? I said that I would, and here that boy's my wingman on Gears, man. We're like, what's that? Brothers to the end and all that stuff. You know, that's what we do, man. He's my Mexican.
Yeah, I see them clutches, man.
What's up, Al? Yeah, did you see those Wolf, man? Like I was like, I mean, you're a good Gears guy. I'm not the greatest, but I thought those were some good, those are some good clips. So I uploaded them, man. Yeah, it was like, I love that game. Like Gears is so much fun to me. That's like my thing. Like for me, I like that. I don't play.
Of it, man. For God's sake.
Yeah, I got a Gears tattoo. What up, Black Tiger? What up, Karen Murdahl and Gravedigger and all you guys, man. What's up? Yeah, we beasting on Gears. Dude, you know what? Like, I like Halo. Like, I'm a story guy for Halo. Gears, I like the multiplayer and the story. You know what I mean? I like the character. Like, I was a big Ty fan back in the day, I used to always go, I had a signature on my forums. It was, we eat tonight, because that was my thing. You know what I mean? Like, we eat, that's me. I'm a big hungry guy, like, we eat tonight. I used to love that shit. Gears just resonates with me. I love that brand. I'm glad that Microsoft bought it. And, so yeah, that's what I wanted to say. Go ahead, Titanfall Princess.
Okay, I just want to do two shit-outs. One to PSM Jordan. Shout-outs, not shit-outs. Get it straight. Clean the shit out your ears. PSM Jordan and Karan.
All right, good stuff.
Cool people.
And we'll catch you guys next time, man. BGST, I think this Sunday on my channel.
Yep.
And then it gets back to Next Gens, I think, in a couple of weeks. So February he'll be back. He'll be out of the timeout corner and all that stuff. So thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you guys next week. Rack 'em up.